1. The burner system connections are simple. First, we will connect the diesel fuel to the burner. There are two fuel lines. One is the supply line, and it's connected to the fuel filter water separator. We use a fuel filter water separator to prevent any water which is condensed in the fuel tank from reaching the burner fuel pump and damaging it. We've made the connections from the inlet to the fitting on the burner fuel pump labeled inlet. We've provided a length of fuel line, fuel resistant hose with quick disconnects. We've also provided an extra length of fuel hose that is to go from the quick disconnect to the diesel fuel tank that you choose to use. The quick disconnects are in case you want to move the fuel tank when refueling. Connect the supply line hose to the bottom of the fuel tank. The fuel tank must be located above the level of the burner so that gravity helps feed the pump. The other fuel hose is the return line. You will see that it is connected to the fitting on the fuel pump labeled outlet. The fuel return line returns excess fuel from the pump to the tank, and it eliminates the need to prime the fuel pump. The return line is also fitted with a quick disconnect and an additional length of hose. The quick disconnects have been reversed to avoid a problem reconnecting with the fuel tank. The fuel return line should be connected to a fitting also at the bottom or low on the side of the fuel tank. When you start the machine for the first time, or if you run out of fuel, there may be a slight delay in the burner lighting as the fuel refills the hoses and filter. The burner system also includes some electrical connections. These are basically a wire that provides the 12-volt DC power to the burner motor, and a set of wires that tell the burner when to ignite. We call the wires that tell the burner when to light the control circuit. The 12-volt DC control circuit connects 3 switches in series. If all switches are closed, the burner will light. The 3 switches are the flow switch, connected to the unloader. It detects flow of water from the pump to the coil. The pressure switch, also located at the unloader, detects pressures above 600 psi in the unloader body. The aquastat, which is located on the plumbing assembly at the top of the coil, measures temperature and ensures that temperatures above 175 degrees Fahrenheit cause the burner to shut down. The control circuit connections that must be made to complete the installation are all color-coded wires and have different types of connectors, so they cannot be connected incorrectly. You'll see that the thick red wire is the 12-volt positive wire, the thin black wire is the 12-volt negative wire, and the 2 yellow wires, one with a brown trace and the other just yellow, are the control circuit. The final system is the chemical system. The chemical pump is located below the deck of the pumping unit. It is red. The chemical pump has an inlet and an outlet. They are identified by the flow arrow cast into the pump head and by the label on the pump. The outlet side of the pump has a 1/4 inch barb fitting on it. Slide a clamp over the hose, lubricate the inside of the hose with a small amount of silicone lubricant, and slide the hose over the barb and tighten the clamp. There's a 20-foot, approximately 6-meter hose with a strainer connected to one end. This is the chemical supply hose. The strainer goes in the chemical tank in which you receive your chemical. The other end is connected to the inlet side of the chemical pump. Slide clamp over the hose, lubricate the inside lightly, and slide the hose over the barb to tighten the clamp. The last connection is the electricity. This should be done by a trained and qualified electrician. Typically, there's a disconnect switch located near the machine so that power to the Kem-O-Kleen may be turned off in the event of an emergency or during repairs. Be sure to test the current to make sure it conforms to the spec for this machine, 380 volt AC, 3-phase, 50 Hertz. Final assembly and testing. Remember, when starting the machine, always open the ball valve on the side of the pump to be sure there's water in the pump head. You can check the water pump oil level in the sight glass located on the side of the pump. Turn the toggle switches for the burner and the chemical pump